All right, let's do this. Thanks for coming back. My name's Scott. This is week 1, day 5. It is Friday. It's the recap video. This will be my last video for the week. I'm going to take the weekend off and resume next week and do the recap day by day for week 2. I'm going to have to explain the thumbnail picture. I do realize that it could be considered clickbait, and I guess I could apologize for that, but the reason I use that picture is if you watch my video from week 1, day 2 on Tuesday, at one point in that video I mentioned that when they were explaining their in-cab cameras, they showed us a video of somebody that was texting and slightly came up on a curve and didn't realize it. Front right tire went off the road, and by the time he realized it, he panicked, jerked the wheel, and rolled the tractor over on its right side. Well, that picture on the thumbnail, I'll throw it back up here again for you to look at. That is the actual trailer. They brought it into our terminal today on a lowboy, and that is a picture of that tractor that that guy was driving. And I did that just to throw that out to you guys. Things can happen in this industry in a split second. So if you are a truck driver, if you're thinking about being a truck driver, safety. Your life, somebody else's life is not worth. To load your dragon is not worth going too fast, answering that text, whatever. Safety. You got to remember. We're dragging 40 tons, 80,000 pounds. That is a ton of weight, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is a ton of weight. And man, if you throw it around in the wrong way, bad stuff can happen. So just be safe, go slow. I'll throw up another video or a picture here. Just real quick before I go into the recap of the day. At the end of today, we were offered, if we wanted to stay for a couple extra, at the end of class, to earn a couple extra bucks. They had us punch in on time cards. I'll throw up another picture here. This is a picture of a driver that was going too fast around a left-hand turn and shifted a full trailer of beer, bottled beer. So as you can see, all those pallets and all those cases were shoved over to the right side of the trailer. Well, we had to take each pallet, pull off the plastic, and unstack and restack all those pallets, and then rewrap them so that load could finish getting delivered. Took a while. A lot of manual labor. There were 5 or 6 of us that got through it real quick, and you have to make sure that they're stacked correctly. The pattern is offsetting, so the cases stay in place, and then the plastic wrap. So that's good. A little extra money never hurts. Help out that driver, help out the shipment, so everybody's happy. So with all that said, let's wrap up today. Week 1, day 5. So we start at 7:30 like every other day by catching up our logs, and I keep saying that, and I haven't showed you what those look like. So this is our logbook directly from Millis. You can see the logo up there. I'll open it up here to today's log. Let me show that to you. So this is an old school paper log. This is where you log your time. There are 4 different lines: off duty, sleeper, driving, and on duty. So I'm not going to go into the whole explanation of it. At some point in the future, I may just do a tutorial video of it real quick. They're very simple once you get to know what numbers go where and all that stuff. So if you have any questions about it specifically, comment below and I'll answer them. But like I said, maybe in sometime in the future I'll do a tutorial video on just that. So once we did that, we split up the class. Half went with Steve, the other half stayed in the yard with Jack. The 5 guys that went with Steve, they jumped in a newer automatic trainer truck and they hooked up to a empty trailer, and they hit the road. They were actually on the road learning how to drive. The rest of us who were with Jack, we stayed on the yard and started to learn backing maneuvers. Backing is one of the things in the industry. It's something that obviously we all need to know, because especially with Millis, that's all the only trailers we haul are dry van. We don't do reefer, we don't do flatbed, just dry van. So with that said, to unload a dry van trailer, you have to back up to a dock. So the 2 prominent backing maneuvers that we at Millis need to know are straight back and 45-degree back or 90-degree alley dock. So today we started with the easiest of all of them, and that's a straight back. So I'm going to show you a quick video of what that looked like for us today. That's going to be right now. Alright, so what you just watched was they had 3 lanes set up. We were using 2 different trucks. One was going this way, the other one was coming this way, going opposite directions. So Jack, as our trainer, one would go and then the other would come back. So Jack would walk right by the driver window, and so he could instruct us as to what we needed to do to correct as we backed. And then he was there, he would go over to the other truck, come back, and basically just go back and forth as needed. So we did that 3, 4, 5 times each. Super simple. These trucks, as they were explaining to us, once you get everything lined up, if you're on a flat surface, with nothing that can knock anything out of direction. You could literally just sit there. Once you get everything going straight back, you could literally just sit in the seat, hands off the wheel, and it'll continue going straight back. And he wasn't lying. So that was pretty cool to see that. But if things did start going awry, going one way or the other, it was pretty neat. Literally the only corrections that you needed to do, if you're sitting in the driver's seat and you're looking at your mirrors, if the tail of the trailer started to drift left, you had your hand at the top of the steering wheel and you turned left a quarter of a turn, held it there for about 2 seconds, and bring it back, and it'll correct itself. Same thing if the rear of the trailer started drifting right, quarter turn to the right towards the drift, turn it back, it's corrected. And that's all you need to do. As long as you have the goal, the two goal posts in your mirrors at all times, it's going to go. So we backed up, pulled forward, backed up, pulled forward, did that 3, 4, 5 times. I did that rotation twice. Like I said, super simple. I got it. By the time, when I got done, there were three other guys with me. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm sorry, 4 other guys in our group. So there was one other guy that got it pretty quick. The other 3, it was a little struggle. You see those guys in the middle of the cones, they would end up, pretty crooked. So you would see them start to actually make big turns on the wheels, which that's one thing Jack said that you cannot do, you should not do, because the corrections are just like this. That's it. At no time should you need to do any of that, and 100% correct. But some of the guys, they kept wanting to do that, so they were struggling with it. So myself and the other guy, actually by the time we got done with straight line backing, it was about 11:30. So we were doing that for a good 3.5, 4 hours. Then we went to lunch. It took us out to Zaxby's. They gave us a $10 gift card to get what we wanted. We came back, and he said that the guys that were struggling, they stayed on straight backing. But Jack set us, 2 of us up on parallel park, driver's side parallel parking. He showed us how to do it, and I was the first one to do it. And I'm telling you, everybody's so scared of parallel parking in a car, and even myself, especially in a big rig. How are you going to get that thing in there? Well, once he started explaining everything, setup is key. Once you get set up properly, then there's just different checkpoints, different angles that you start turning things, and different viewpoints that you have to line yourself up on. If you hit all those marks, it is actually very simple and pretty fun to do, to be honest with you, because it's pretty cool that you're putting a 75 foot vehicle and parallel parking it. Parallel parking a 75 foot vehicle, people. Come on. So by the time we got all that done, I was able to do it once. Well, unfortunately, here, a little side note. There was a student that has been out on the road with a trainer for 5 weeks. He came back to the terminal today, and he had failed his driving test. He failed the parallel parking part of it, actually. So he had asked Jack if he could get in the rotation of relearning how to do the parallel parking. So actually that unfortunately ate into a bunch of our practice time, training time. So I was the only person able to do 2 parallel parks. So we'll get back into that more on Monday. So I'll have a video for you guys of us doing that on Monday. I did not have a chance to get that today for you. Yeah. So this guy took up so much time that by the time he was done, Steve was back with the other group off the road, and because it's Friday, they'd like to try to get us out a little bit earlier, because there are quite a few of the guys, actually 8 of the 10 that are in this class, went home for the weekend because they live within, a couple hours of here. So instead of staying at the hotel, they went home, including my roommate. So they got us done and got us out of there around 2 o'clock. So at that 2 o'clock is when they had us asked for volunteers to help restack that beer. And whoever wasn't able to or whatever, they just left and went home. So quick day, but that's it. I do appreciate you watching. Thanks. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Like, subscribe, and get them notifications.